A new voice joining the fight insisting a Michigan man behind bars is innocent of murder. That's our top story tonight. Good to have you with us. I'm Kimberly Gill.
And I'm Devin Skillian. For 3 decades, police have said Temujin Kensu could not have killed a St. Clair Community College student in 1986. And now Muhammad Ali's daughter is echoing that sentiment. Jacqueline Francis sat down with Kalia Ali, who's in Michigan visiting Temujin in prison. Jacqueline.
Yeah, Kalia Ali met with Temujin at a Macomb County prison just in time for his 60th birthday. Ali says she's now hooked on the cause and won't back down until he's a free man.
On November 5th, 1986, Scott Macklem, the son of the mayor of Croswell, Michigan, was fatally shot in the parking lot of St. Clair County Community College.
Wrongful Conviction is the popular crime podcast that's brought a lot of attention to a Michigan case. The episode is about Temujin Kensu, a man convicted of murdering St. Clair Community College student Scott Macklem in 1987. The podcast and its hosts even getting the attention of Muhammad Ali's daughter, Kalia Ali.
I truly believe that if my father was here today, this is the cause he would be fighting.
For decades, experts and lawyers have said Temujin could not have committed the crime, as several witnesses testified he was in the Upper Peninsula, nowhere near Port Huron, at the time of the murder.
When you look at that and say, okay, how was this person who was 400 miles away able to murder this person? It makes no sense. And then you keep digging and you realize that, there was a prosecutor who was looking to climb politically. It all has the hallmarks of wrongful convictions.
There was also never any forensic evidence tying him to the crime. Temujin's ex-girlfriend was dating the victim at the time of his death.
Police became overly attracted to this kind of easy narrative of the jealous ex-boyfriend must have done it.
Ali came to Michigan to meet Temujin and his wife, vowing to fight alongside them.
I had the ability to visit him the other day and see him eye to eye and hug him and say hello and know that he's a human being, not a wild animal or a dangerous killer. Really filled my heart with that much more fight that we're going to need to pull him through this.
The couple gifted Ali this charm bracelet as a thank you and a reminder.
Look at this bracelet every day and keep Temujin in mind and in heart, and with this fist, keep up the fight.
There is so much more to this story, but to be brief, Temujin's legal team think his best shot at freedom is for him to be granted clemency by the governor's office. His team has been in touch with Governor Gretchen Whitmer's staff recently, so we'll see what happens. Reporting live in Detroit, Jacqueline Francis, Local 4.
We will watch closely. All right, Jacqueline. Now, new information tonight in the deadly shooting outside a used car dealership in Royal Oak Township.
44-year-old Gregory Davis was arraigned via Zoom this morning on murder charges. Prosecutors say Davis followed his ex-girlfriend to the parking lot of Legends Motors in Royal Oak Township last Saturday morning. They say he blocked the 40-year-old victim's car, and when she got out, he shot her as she ran away. They say Davis then shot her again at close range. Police say the shooting happened in front of their 10-year-old daughter. During today's online arraignment, Davis had a disagreement with the court-appointed attorney.
Mr. Davis stands mute. Judge asked you to enter a plea of not guilty on his behalf. Judge, Mr. Davis has indicated that he would like to enter a different plea, and I have explained to him on the record that he will do that after counsel with his appointed counsel. And if, in fact, that's the direction that he wants to go at that time, then he would be able to do that at his probable cause conference.
Davis due back in court May 30th.
Detroit police searching for the gunman in a deadly shooting that killed a 16-year-old boy. It happened last night right around this time in the area of 8 Mile and Wyoming. Police were in the neighborhood for hours overnight after the report came in of 2 people being shot. They found an adult man in his late 20s. He was rushed to the hospital, now in stable condition, and family members have now identified the teenager who was killed as Sir Spiller. Police have not yet shared any leads on a suspect or a motive in the case.
4 people are hurt after a wrong-way crash on US 23 in Washtenaw County. Police say the 38-year-old Plymouth man was driving north in the southbound lanes on US 23 in Dundee and hit several cars. He kept going into Washtenaw County, hitting 4 cars near Willis Road in York Township. 4 people, including the driver, were taken to the hospital. All are expected to survive. Police do indeed think the driver was drinking or on drugs.
Investigators are looking for the cause of a fire at a strip mall in Southfield. Flames erupted at this beauty supply store on 10 Mile near Southfield Road. At one point, as you could see there, engulfing the business. Firefighters fought to contain the flames to that one store because that had been closed for some time, but obviously the worry was for neighboring businesses. They may have some smoke damage, but not much more than that, and luckily no one was hurt.
To tip or not to tip? That's a question we asked of an etiquette expert just a couple of weeks ago after learning 60% of WDIV insiders feel tipping has gone too far. It had a lot of people talking, and you'll likely have some thoughts of your own about this next story. A Detroit woman says the owner of an ice cream shop tracked her down on social media for not leaving a tip. Pamela Osborne joins us live to explain from the Midtown ice cream shop that's been the center of controversy before. Pamela.
Kimberly, last year, Cold Truth was saying that it would no longer serve law enforcement officers who showed up to its store in body armor. As you can imagine, as you remember, it caused quite the stir. Well, tonight we're speaking with a customer who says she was shamed on social media in her inbox by the owner of this ice cream shop for not leaving a tip.
I felt attacked, and to search me out, to leave a message like that was just unheard of.
Shantae Fagans had hoped to end her Sunday on a sweet note.
I went to Flower Day, Easter Market, had a great time.
After that, she and a friend stopped by Cold Truth, her favorite vegan ice cream shop. Shantae says their order came to about $12. She paid by card.
Usually leave a tip, yes.
This time, she says she didn't tip because she didn't have the extra money to give. Not long after,
I had gotten a message from the owner, which was kind of strange.
The DM sent direct from Cold Truth's Instagram account read in part, just writing a note to convey that we operate in a tipped business model, adding the cost of ingredients have doubled, but they have chosen not to pass those costs down to customers. The note, signed Tim, goes on to say, if we haven't risen to a level that you feel is worthy of a gratuity, we absolutely understand.
So those are discretionary, the jars, the screens.
We talked to etiquette expert Danielle Kovakovic and the general topic of tipping. She said it's up to the customer.
To say, when in doubt, you should tip if you can, if your budget supports it, if the moment moves you.
And that's what Shantae wants the shop's owner, Timothy Mahoney, to understand.
I didn't have it that day. Did you think about that? You know, I could be on a budget. I just wanted to treat me and my friend to ice cream, and I just had money just for that.
Shantae says she called and spoke with the store's owner after receiving that message. She was hoping for an apology, but she didn't get one and hasn't gotten one since. She said that he doubled down on his message, which is what we saw in some of those Instagram posts on her original message about this back and forth dispute. I should mention we did try to get Tim to speak with us and share his side of the story of all of this, but he declined to comment. Reporting live in Midtown, I'm Pamela Osborne, Local 4.
A lot of people have thoughts about this story, Pamela. We appreciate you reporting tonight.
Goodness. Michigan Supreme Court Justice Richard Bernstein says he will be resuming his duties in person now after taking time to be treated for situational depression. Bernstein announced he was seeking treatment last month, saying he would work remotely, though he did have to miss some oral arguments. In a statement today, Bernstein says, quote, "It is my sincere hope that by talking about these issues in the open, free from any needless stigma, we can move closer to a day when anyone struggling can avail themselves of the same quality care I was blessed to receive," end of quote. Well, as you probably just saw, Canton's Grace West gave it everything she had to be the voice.
Yeah, just moments ago, the winner decided in the closest margin of victory.
Gina Miles!
West performed hit after hit, week after week, wowing the judges each time. She's had a lot of support from Metro Detroit, but tonight she finishes runner-up to Gina Miles. Still so proud of her.
We respectfully disagree with this.
Yeah, I know. Especially as Blake last
go around, you would have. Yeah. She was just so great this season. She got really bright things ahead of her. We're really proud.